Today I'll talk about new Subsonic ammo mechanic and about weapons with this ammo. First of all, let's talk about Subsonic Mechanic. This mechanic not only decreases distance on which your shots can be heard, but also it affects fear meter scaling. On the same distances, fear meter will be increased by smaller percent in case of Subsonic ammo, which allows you to make more shots near NPCs without raising alarm. Which weapons have Subsonic Mechanic? Weapons with 300 knockout Subsonic caliber, which are Tremor and Vigor 300. Weapons with 9x39 caliber, ASVAL, VSS, and SR3M. Weapons with 45 caliber, UMP45, USP45, and Operator 1911. And finally 9x18, which is APB. Actually, there are more weapons with such caliber, such as M45 or PM. But since they don't have suppressor, Subsonic Mechanic won't work in their case. Talking about weapons themselves, they have really bad range with velocity compared to most of other weapons. So you better use these weapons only for stealth or for close distances. In other case, you just better take something else, because shooting on medium-long range will be awful experience with these weapons. Let's look at weapons. First of all, let's look at pistols. The worst option is definitely APB. It doesn't have one-tap potential against 100 HP. Well, actually it has, but distance is way too short. Next weapon is USP45, much better choice. It not only has one-tap potential against 100 HP, but against 110 and 115 HP enemies as well. And the best choice is Operator 1911, which you can get in Zombies mode. Operator has bigger range by about 10 meters. Even though it has slower reload and smaller mag size, it doesn't really matter during stealth. Bigger range will be much more important. Now let's look at primaries. The worst option among primaries with subsonic ammo is SR3M. First of all, it has the worst range of 1 tap against 100 HP. Secondly, even though it has 1 tap potential against 110 HP, distance is really short. Tremor 300 will be a better option. It doesn't have 1 tap against 110 HP, but it has almost 2 times bigger distance of 1 tap against 100. Next weapon is Vigor 300. Nothing much else to say, it's pretty much the same weapon, just with longer barrel, which increases velocity and distance of 1 tap against 100 HP. Even better option will be ASVAL with VSS. Compared to previous weapon, ASVAL with VSS has worse range of 1 tap against 100 HP, but in the same time they have pretty good distance of 1 tap against 110 HP, and they can even 1 tap 115 HP on short distance. And the best primary with subsonic ammo is UMP45. If we look at velocity with range, it might seem like it's worse than the same ASVAL, but it has bigger damage, which makes situation about 1 tap even better. UMP45 has longer distance of 1 tap against 100, 110, and 115 HP enemies. Difference is pretty noticeable. The only downside about UMP45 is that it has pretty heavy ammo, 21 grams for one bullet. But you can make it almost 2 times lighter if you're gonna use bulk ammo box. Even though I showed you weapons which are the worst and which weapons are the best, you don't have to use these weapons which I called the best. What to play with is your choice. Main purpose of my videos about weapons is to show their advantages and disadvantages, which you can take into account when you choose weapon. So we found out which weapons are the best and which weapons are the worst. However, because of distances difference in compounds, taking weapons only with subsonic ammo might be not the best choice. For example, on naval base there are pretty many long distances. You'll definitely won't be able to take down those snipers from this distance. So in such cases, when compound has long distances, or you plan to shoot on long distances, taking some M110 which will deal with enemies on long range, and some operator or USP for close range will be better choice. Meanwhile, taking primary with subsonic rounds still has point, since they have better velocity and range. So do you need primary with subsonic ammo or not, depends on compound and how you plan to stealth compound. That's all for today, let me know what you think about Subsonic Mechanic. If you found this video useful, leave a like and some comment, it helps out with video promotion, join my Discord server, builds, tier list and other useful information. If you really like my content, you can support me on Boosty, and see you next time.